Good afternoon, my name is Jordan Lambert, market analyst at Gelatoma Management. Right, so the different possible scenarios surrounding the US government shutdown, the US debt ceiling, investor sentiment and the potential effects on the US recovery are becoming increasingly complex, making it difficult in particular to predict where gold may move to next. Republican House Speaker John Boehner has stated that he will be flexible and overrule any voting requirements if necessary to avert a US default, which is reassuring news for stock markets indeed. This has halted the decline in stock futures and could cause stocks to move higher when the European and US markets open later today. Nonetheless, the US government is still shut down. We are into the fourth day of a shutdown, and if this extends into next week, we could see material impacts on consumer spending and growth, which in turn would suggest the Federal Reserve may postpone the slowing down of stimulus even further, maybe even into next year. This would obviously give a good boost to gold. Let's just take a look at the charts at the moment. I'm looking at the 1 hour chart. So yesterday I mentioned that 1300 would be a good level to buy, especially if you see buying interest at that level, and we did. We saw that there was a hammer, pierced the lower Bollinger Band right on the 1300 level. Sorry. Just above the 1300 level, and it propelled price higher all the way up to 1321. Right, now price action has evolved. We are getting a kind of an ascending triangle form on the chart. It isn't a perfect ascending triangle because it isn't developing at the top of a trend. Nonetheless, I think it is worthy to be mindful of. So this is the short-term bullish trend of the ascending triangle. So this yellow triangle, the bullish trend line, the resistance shows the ascending triangle. So if we get a break to the upside here, maybe caused or supported by escalating fears with the government shutdown, I would not be surprised at all if we quickly get a test of this longer term bearish trend line that you can see if I zoom out on the 4 hour chart. Right, so on the contrary, if fears wane in Washington and government reopens, then we could see a decline. We could see a downside break of this triangle, and if it breaks this bullish trend line, it would be bearish intraday certainly, and it would definitely, well not definitely, but likely test support at 1300 again. If it goes through 1300, that would be very bearish, and I would be looking for shorting opportunities over the next few days. So yeah, intraday, if it breaks this bullish trend line of this triangle, bearish intraday, see if it tests 1300. If it breaks through 1300, even more bearish. But yeah, it's very much down to what happens in Washington. It hinges on that. If we get good news coming out of Washington, then gold could easily fall through 1300. If we get bad news, if this shutdown extends into next week and there's no resolution in sight and no reopening of government in sight, we could see gold go high and break through, even break this bearish trend line. If it breaks the bearish trend line, could easily test 1350 resistance. Be aware there's no non-farms today because of the government shutdown, so that will be postponed until the government reopens. But yeah, the good news for stock markets, bad news for gold at the moment is John Boehner's almost promise that he will avoid a US default. So that could help the dollar. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I'll be with you again on Monday.